going on, Owen? First, my friend, first. You are here with the quickness. Cheers. Cheers to you, Owen. We're just hanging out tonight. Gonna have a drink. Gonna hang out with some friends. And we're gonna have a conversation. That's the whole point, right? Of social media, to be able to have a conversation and talk to others. Yeah, Pokemon native. It's a late night hangout. Don't have a whole lot going on today. All this evening, I should say. I figured what better way to spend it than with some of my friends here on YouTube and X and Rumble too. Not leaving you guys out by any means. One Winged Maverick, greetings and cheers, folks. Hello to you as well. Yo Yo says Biz Glizzy, it's great to see you, my friend. Cheers. Thanks for being a good guy, great father, and also an awesome moderator. Moon, hello. I hope all is well with you, my friend. Great to see you. What's up, Trey Edwards? Welcome back. Jeffrey, Brian, Lowboy, Golden God. What's up, Crypto Femme? What are you guys drinking? What are we having tonight? Guinness bourbon and the boss, says One Winged Maverick. Very nice. I like that a lot. Let's start off with a fun little poll just for kicks. I know, hey, my friends in the UK, Germany, Switzerland, Sweden, Denmark, Norway. Kershaw, great to see you. Larry Garcia just pulled out, driving down the road. I love watching and listening, or should I say listening to YouTube videos while I'm driving, especially live streams and stuff like that too. You got some coffee to wake up. You know what? I got something here too, but nobody's asked, so I'm not even going to say anything. Coffee, bush lattes. Does that mean what I think it means, bro? Horror boy, a few days from our 4-year anniversary of when we should have been debt free. Bzz says, boss, want to get your opinion on the current talks about silver and gold and how people are speculating the tariffs imposed by Trump could get the price of silver moving up. Well, it's kind of a question, right? It's in the form of a statement, but it is kind of a question as well. Real Rugged asks, says he's drinking Pepto Bismol, bro. That's savage right there, man. At least it's not like, lean. Hennessy on the rocks for Snowplow Man. And Shock Top for Jimmy Loud. Cheers. You guys got some good taste, I gotta say. I think everybody can figure out what I'm drinking here. Jimmy Loud. I'm teabagging tonight. I'm teabagging. So it's nothing with alcohol in it tonight. I actually haven't had alcohol for no real reason other than I haven't wanted to. And I'd say probably like 6 months or longer, just because it's not exactly my jazz anymore. I know a lot of you guys used to watch, well, still, and have watched for several years. And I used to drink on every live stream when we first started streaming, right? And it was just a casual glass of whiskey or something. I would never get hammered or anything. But it was a fun wind down at the end of the day. And now it's just not really, it doesn't really appeal to me, for whatever reason. Rachel, I'm with you on that. I'm drinking warm water. No, Kirsha, I wish I had stopped smoking as well, but I have not stopped smoking. No, Hilsey, you are correct. Hilsey says I did not think you were drinking, and no, I'm not right now. Again, for no real reason. The good old cannabis doesn't leave any hangovers. Not that I ever really drank to get hangovers, but there's no weird feeling the next day or anything like that, or even the same day, which has always been a big plus. But BZZ asks about silver and gold, and people are speculating that tariffs could get the price of silver moving up. My friend, I got to be completely honest with you. I think the price of silver is going to go up along with the price of gold, more so because of the issues we're seeing with inflation, and less with the issues we're seeing with tariffs. I don't really see tariffs as being a big issue. I actually think that they're a great thing. We had a lot of Trump tariffs in 2019, all through Trump's first administration. And inflation was at 1.6%, which is well below the historical average, well below. The issues that we're seeing with inflation now are more closely related to the ridiculous spending under the Biden-Harris administration, which is an all-time high for any administration, by the way. Hilsey, I just logged off from, you know what, I'm going to switch this over here so I can talk to you guys over here. 7-day shift, just logged off for my 2 hours of OT, 7 days a week. Wow, you are working hard, my friend. I like that hustle, I gotta say, but I know it can be difficult for sure. I know it can be very hard. Mystic, cheers for you, my friend. No for me, but I'm riding very high, he says. Let's see. So can I see the results? 22% said yes, 63% saying no, 3% saying always. Man, if you're always drinking, that's a bit of a problem. I'm not one to judge. I was just thinking out loud. And 13% said never. All right, very cool. DJ Quagmire is having a porn star martini, shaken not stirred. Is this a joke setup, bro? Is there really a porn? What's a porn star martini? I'll bite. I gotta say. Let's see. Crypto Femme is grabbing a refill. Gorilla Grodd would be here with us, but he's too busy putting his cranky baby and his cranky wife to bed. I love that. The Reaper, you're having lemonade and Everclear, my friend. Wow. At least you mixed it with something. Everclear is some potent shit for sure. And Scotty is drinking a Summit. Wild cherry and lime. Citron. Oh, okay. Wild cherry and lime carbonated cannabis drink. Very cool. Sounds pretty tasty, I gotta say. BG's already faded. We got a few people up here. My queen hanging out. Having a sip of beer. Beautiful. Let's see. Boss, which cryptos interest you right now? Well, which cryptos interest me right now? You know what? Aside from the usual, right? I think I've told you guys a little bit about XRP has been looking very good for quite a long time now. We had, Zach Rector on the channel when XRP was at 50 cents, and we were both talking about how it was extremely undervalued and due for a serious run up. So far, it's around $3 and $3 or so. per. That's quite a significant gain since then, from 50 cents to $3 it's currently at. And I felt at 50 cents it was extremely undervalued. I feel that at $3 it's still a pretty good deal, and I think it's got a lot more potential. But aside from that, I would say that the new Trump crypto token, and it really is T, by the way. I was just spoke incorrectly there. The Crump token, right? Trump crypto token is very appealing right now. It's just a meme coin. It's not, it has no use case. But right now, it has a lot of potential, I gotta say, for the future. So I did buy a tiny bit of the Trump crypto token a few days ago, and I definitely am interested in it. The same goes for the John McAfee crypto. It's also a meme coin. It has no use case, but it is AI, basically AI antivirus, right? It's basically AI antivirus is what it's called. But I did repost that, and that's got me pretty interested as well because I like what's going on with it. I like keeping the memory of John McAfee. I think that's pretty cool. Robert is getting ready to buy AMC, my friend. Very cool. I got to tell you something though, man. The market's closed right now. Just as a quick heads up. Cheesy Pop's a little concerned about my brokerage right now. What brokerage do you have, brother? What are you concerned about there? We do have, yeah, quite the shakeup going on right now. Trump fired 17 inspector generals in a late night purge of the internal government watchdogs. Fantastic. Donald Trump doing exactly what we hired him to do. Let me pull up this chat over here, guys. All right, I'm going to end this poll. We'll get another poll going here. Luke says, what's up with GME and AMC? Well, my friend, and GameStop and AMC are both just kind of sitting pretty right now. Let's put it this way. We're waiting for some sort of movement there in the swaps baskets. And I think when that begins, people are going to be very interested in seeing how that comes along. And it's going to be pretty obvious. It's going to be pretty obvious when the price starts changing like crazy. JD Vance says, I thought I was done voting in the Senate. And of course, in case you guys didn't know, he's the tie-breaking vote on nominating Pete Hegseth because the Senate was basically a 50-50 split. And of course, Mitch McConnell was the one that brought it to that 50-50 split. So as vice president, JD Vance is the tie-breaking vote. So, 99% chance. People right now are saying Valentina Gomez, senator, is saying we need to kick Mitch McConnell's wheelchair out of the Senate. These rhinos and dinosaurs are a cancer for America. So we got Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth in now thanks to JD Vance's tie-breaking vote. Auto Run, is the president aware of what's going on in the markets, and do you think he will make a change? Well, I think Donald Trump is definitely aware of what's happening in the markets, especially since guys like Devin Nunes, the CEO of DJT stock, are very vocal about naked shorting. And then Robert F. Kennedy Jr. has been working with retail investors, including myself, or his team was, I should say, who's been working with us to help push forward various reforms in the financial markets. So you guys may be aware that Robert Kennedy has posted quite a few things. Let's see if, including Gamestop, in which he tweeted me. Some of these search settings are definitely not working properly. Because we know that Robert Kennedy has spoken about GameStop pretty heavily. As a matter of fact, there's the tweet right there. I am very aware of what the average retail investor has been saying about the need for greater transparency in our markets, stronger regulatory oversight, and tougher penalties for market manipulation and criminal behavior. My administration will support the Ape Retail Rebellion and enact aggressive Wall Street reforms. To match with words, I just invested $24,000 in GameStop from the fees I earned from suing Monsanto for their knowingly poisoning our soil and causing cancer. I love the idea of making Monsanto support GameStop and the apes. We need a free and fair market. Let's punish predatory short selling to the moon. By the way, I ride with you, and I'm not leaving. Neither are we. As you can see here, he, of course, did tweet me on that one as well. The team reached out to me and showed me the tweet before they did and asked my advice. They asked us, do you think that buying $24,000 worth of GameStop would piss off some of the members of the community because it's a significant amount of money? And I'm like, no. I personally bought 6 figures worth of AMC stock in one live stream, all in one buy order, and people loved it. People don't give a shit if it's a small amount of money or a large amount of money. They're just happy that we're all in this together, right? There's millions and millions of retail investors that own GameStop and AMC stock. And so to see others like RFK Jr. be part of the fray just makes it all that more exciting. And then we also have Devin Nunes, who has been very vocal about DJT stock, naked shorting, and so on.
About a perceived attack on the company and the stock. Your company asked NASDAQ, keep an eye out for some short selling tactics, nefarious short selling tactics. And according to a Truth Social post, you say Citadel, after you just asked the NASDAQ, hey guys, just keep an eye out, Citadel came at you. What is up with that?
Look, I think it's very unusual behavior. And, look, we're here to defend our retail shareholders. Like, I don't give a damn if Wall Street doesn't want to support us. In fact, we welcome it. But we have millions of retail shareholders, or we have millions of people around the globe, or in the United States. We have hundreds of thousands of retail shareholders. We don't have any institutions, zero Wall Street money. That's okay. But when you see irregular behavior occurring, where it looks like our retail shareholders could be taken advantage of, which is what many of our shareholders believe, and if they call me or they contact us, we have a responsibility to reach out to the NASDAQ to say, hey, we're seeing this. We are on this called Reg Show list, not to get in the weeds here, Chris, but that means there's irregular activity. And so I think the response you're seeing from some of these investment banks, clearly we're right over the target. There's something wrong. And look, we're going to get to the bottom of it if there is. If there's not, the obvious response, if you think there's nothing wrong, you say there's nothing wrong. You don't go out and basically attack me personally. You basically just say, hey, there's nothing wrong. We'll love to work with you. And that's how it should be done. So since they're making the personal attacks, if we continue to show up on these lists and it appears like there's unusual activity, you can be damn sure that this investigation will continue. And that'll include if we have to go to the Congress, if we have to take legal action, we will do whatever it takes to defend our retail investors. And what's at the heart of all of this, Chris? Remember at the beginning of the week, Joe Biden mentions Truth Social and our stock price. Isn't that weird? That happened at the beginning of the week.
I saw that. I saw that. And the stock price, by the way, rebounding a little bit too. I wanted to make mention of that. Devin Nunes, thank you, sir. Got a scoot. Appreciate the visit, as always.
So I just wanted to bring that up. They literally having a spat between Citadel, Ken Griffin of Citadel, and Devin Nunes, the CEO of DJT, Truth Social stock, a former congressman, Devin Nunes, very well aware of how we can get this investigated. Their team is probably working on this in one way or another already. Let's see, who else? Realistic Mystic, do you think Powell does a rate hike? No, my friend, I do not think. Powell does not have the balls to do a rate hike. Should they? Probably. Will they? No. I would bet almost any money that they will not do a rate hike at this next FOMC meeting. Turbo Obsessed says, I'm on the green tea and whiskey. Oh, you figured out my secret, bro. Auto Run, is the president aware of what's going on in the markets, and do you think he will make a change? I think this answers that question very well. Right there. Citadel blasted the CEO of Trump Media, parent company Truth Social, after the executive accused Ken Griffin, the Ken Griffin founded company, of potential market manipulation. Devin Nunes wrote to NASDAQ CEO claiming stocks in this company had fallen foul of naked short selling, a process of traders offloading stocks, well, you guys know what that is, before they have either borrowed the asset or ensured it can be borrowed. And of course, Citadel Securities was named among the group allegedly engaging in this activity. Surprise, surprise. Let's see. 17, if you know, you know. For tomorrow, of course, working and buying holdings, says Robert. Oh, where did my chat go? There it is. Hillsy, thanks very much. I enjoy the sport coats. I don't get too much of a chance to wear them, so I wear them whenever I can. Yud asks, boss, do you think the president will end federal income tax? Do you think that's possible? Yes. I do think it will take some significant amount of time, but it's definitely possible. I even did an entire live stream on that specific topic, and I'll link it to you just so that you can, check it out at your leisure if you choose to do so. It was actually just a week ago. It's right here. If you've already seen it, cool. You don't have to watch it again, of course, but if you're interested, I actually go into full detail explaining how the tariffs would affect the United States and the rest of the world, how it would affect the taxpayers. And I explained how they could get rid of the income tax and in what way that would be positive and negative, and the pros and the cons for it for the majority of Americans, and even how it would affect illegal immigrants, or should I say illegal aliens? That's the correct term for it. So I do think it's possible that they end the federal income tax and replace it with tariffs through an external revenue service. And in my opinion, that would be extremely bullish for all Americans, for businesses, large and small, for our economy. And I'll just leave it at that because it's got a lot of great implications. Cheesy Pop says, my Fidelity account is not available. I'm a little concerned about my brokerage right now. That is really interesting, my friend. Well, Fidelity is currently unable to provide brokerage or mutual fund account information. Please try again later. Wow. Maybe they're down for maintenance. Maybe there's something more serious going on. I don't know, my friend. I don't know about that one. Best of luck. that gets the shack, wide-eyed shack. Vincent says, "Are you buying a huge chunk of gold and silver after MOAS, boss?" Yeah, my friend, I've got a quite significant amount of precious metals already. What I consider significant. Definitely in the top percentage of holders of precious metals. Not that that's even a lot, because the majority of people, I'd say 99% of people, that's a fact. I'm not just making it up. 99% of people in the world don't own any precious metals. So less than 1% of the people in the world actually own silver or gold or platinum, palladium, etc. Outside of like jewelry, right? I'm talking about like actual coins, bars, bullion, things like that. And to be in like the top 10%, you only have to have like, I think, 500 ounces of silver or so to be in the top 10% of retail investors of ownership of precious metals. Silver, to be specific. I don't know what that number is for gold, to be honest with you. So I'm a little behind in the chat, but I hope you guys are patient with me. Throw any questions or anything you want to talk about in there. I'm working my way down. Creamy Goodness says, "We need some help from Trump on this short seller stuff. No more slow rolling this." Hey, Scotty. Cheers, my friend. Hilsey, thanks for being such a great friend and a great moderator. You are too nice. Auto Run. I live in Western Australia, and it's great to see Donald Trump back in office. Yeah, I'm glad to hear that. Yeah, we feel the same, my friend, here in the United States. Yud says he's just talking about DJT. Yeah, Devin Nunes is the CEO of DJT, so it would behoove him to stay on topic. At the end of the day, he's a former congressman. He's well aware of what's going on in financial markets. They've approached the NASDAQ, FINRA, and the Securities Exchange Commission about the issues with naked shorting. As you saw, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., who's also making America healthy again as part of the Donald Trump administration, you saw him tag me in that X post regarding GameStop and talking about shit about naked shorting. They're well aware, my friend. Let me scoot this over here. Melania Trump's meme coin is down 80% from its high. Well, it just launched 5 days ago. That doesn't really mean a whole lot. 1.8 billion of market cap has been erased since its peak. Well, I think it's kind of messed up that they didn't show the beginning portion of the chart. They only showed the 6-hour mark. Because if you look at the entire chart for Melania, that kind of tells a different story. While it's down from its peak, we should also look at how far it is up in general. It's down 69% right now from its peak. But it didn't launch. Did it launch on the 18th? This says it launched on the 19th. Starting at 239. No, 780. Yeah, currently down 69%. I don't own any of this. I'm not in the slightest bit surprised. And these coins tend to do that. That's pretty standard with meme coins. That doesn't mean that it's not going to shoot up again. There's a lot of weird shit out there. A lot of these meme coins and stuff. Giga Chad, for fuck's sake. Look at the maximum on these things. Like, they have a weird way of moving. This thing launched at 0.00006 cents and is currently 0.06 cents for a gain with a $589 million market cap, which is insane for a fucking meme coin called Giga Chad. But hey, people love it. And what's that percentage gain there? I mean, all time, it's a fucking healthy gain. You know, that's in the thousands of percentage. That's up 46,000% in the last year. So there's definitely potential with some of these shit coins to make money. That doesn't mean they're great investments. It's gambling. But it's still, there's still opportunities all around, everywhere you look. What was that question? I saw somebody there. Sup, Sobs? SABZ. It's good to see you. The squeeze may, in fact, be here. Has Andrew Left been charged? Yes, Gia. Andrew Left has been charged. He is facing 370 years in prison. 370 years in prison. As a matter of fact, I have the thumbnail for that right here from the video we did on that. He's been charged by the Department of Justice and the Securities Exchange Commission for illegal market manipulation of stocks like Gamestop, Tesla, AMC, etc. And I made this this thumbnail for the video I did on him several months ago when it was announced that he was charged. It says, "I don't always say I told you so, but when I do, it's because I told you so." If you guys remember, that's the most interesting man in the world. My friend Pantheon AMC actually made this, slap my face on this and made this meme. And so I just put it together with the rest of this thumbnail because I thought it was funny. But yeah, this guy's facing 370 years in prison and he's rolling on everybody. I am absolutely sure of it. Because Citron Capital, Andrew Left, they're facing significant number of complaints and criminal charges. I added them up. It adds up to 370 years potentially in prison for them. So you know that he's rolling on guys like Nate Anderson, Kershaw, you're correct, what's the name of that company? You guys know what I'm talking about. The other Hindenburg Research and Citron Capital have done quite a few things together. They've been mentioned in multiple articles in which they've done business. Citron Capital has even covered some of Hindenburg Research's legal fees in the past. So in my opinion, they did some business together there. And Andrew Left is rolling on the whole lot of them. Rep. Anpolina Luna has announced she will draft legislation to add President Trump's face onto Mount Rushmore. I am all for it. Go for it. That would be hilarious. That would be great. Let's close this poll and see what the results were. I'm interested. 43% said yes. 18% said no. 27% said I don't know. And 15% said Citadel is screwed. Really cool. I appreciate your insight, folks. Let's see. Crypto, hold on. Before I go down there, I don't want to miss anybody's chat. Brian O'Quinn, I wonder how Bill Hwang is enjoying his visit to Club Fed. Why, Bill Hwang of Archegos Capital is going to be enjoying his visit with the federal prison for the rest of his fucking life. And so I bet he's probably not enjoying it very much. He's probably pretty upset right now. Jaina, thank you. I love having you here with us when we're live. It's always awesome. Thank you for keeping us all fighting for our place at the table. I can't wait for Lit Exchange. High five. High five, my friend. You are awesome. Steve, will anyone else join Andrew Left in his FU in the A cell? Maybe he can have an extra bedpost. I love the creativity. Yeah, I think so. And that's going to be Hindenburg Research. I will go ahead and pull up my tweet about that. Oh, why the hell are all these coming up instead of what I'm searching for? What is X doing here? Come on, dude. What are you doing? Oh. I didn't see this one from Mexicape. I better give him a thumbs up. Here it is. Hindenburg Research shuts down. Many believe it's because the SEC is squeezing short sellers that manipulate markets. Nate Anderson-led Hindenburg Research could find itself as hot water. And you can see I said that currently Andrew Left of Citron Capital faces 370 years in prison. And other people have speculated that Hindenburg did the same thing with Adani Corporation. I won't go into that in detail, but I did a full video on that as well about 2 weeks ago. You can look up my video on my channel for about 2 weeks ago if you want to, in regards to a full deep dive into Citron Capital and Hindenburg Research and why they really shut down. Because the Indian regulator, basically the SEBI, which is the Securities Exchange Commissioner of India, basically slapped Hindenburg Research with a collusion charges, saying hedge fund manager Mark Kingdon and his entities colluded in a scheme devised to use advanced knowledge of insider information to build short positions. So there was something else also that was reported by institutionalinvestor.com that after short seller Hindenburg Research issued a scathing report on electric truck maker Nikola, the stock fell 10%. Now Citron Research, another short seller, Andrew Left, the 370 years guy, has said it will pay half of Hindenburg's legal costs, even as the company denies the allegations in a statement posted on its website. Surprise, surprise. Now, could anybody with eyes see that Nikola was a terrible company? Of course. Does that mean that they weren't manipulating markets? No, of course they could have been, and that's very possible. Let's see. Trial is left for Andrew Left. Black Widow says the trial for Andrew Left is set for September 30th of this year. September 30th. Awesome. Oh, I love this post. Wall Street uses our money. Wall Street uses your money to destroy you. They use your taxes and pension funds to destroy you. That is the greatest scandal out there. And now you have a holy war by the ape army driving up stock shorts, and they're relentless. What the apes want is complete and total destruction of a corrupt and incompetent system. And like him or hate him, it's not about the man, it's about the message. He is absolutely on point with this message. Very happy to see that. Steve Bannon was talking about this on the War Room. Now, CryptoFem says, let's do a deep dive into Roaring Kitty's latest tweet. What are your thoughts? Has the whiskey hit yet? Well, I'm actually just honestly, I am just drinking tea. I don't really feel like drinking any alcohol for no real reason. But somebody posted a very interesting, I don't know if it was in here in the think tank of the Discord, or if it was on Twitter that I just saw it a few minutes ago. Before I talk about that, I do want to say that a Citibank executive and a vice president, Marianne Callance, was found beaten to death in her home in London. Now, I will say that in banking, everybody and their mom is a fucking vice president. So that doesn't really mean anything. But she was an executive. And everyone's given the title vice president in banking to feel good about themselves. So they can say, I'm a VP at Citibank or Goldman or wherever the fuck. But she was found beaten to death in her home in London. I just thought that was interesting and should share. The President of the United States desk hasn't seen this much action since Bill Clinton. Beautiful. I'm going to find up this tweet here that somebody was decoding Roaring Kitty's tweet. Man, I wish I could remember where it was exactly, but I was looking at it quite a while ago. I don't think I'm going to be able to find it like this. But the guy brought up a great point. Let me see if he said something about it that I can remember to search for that term specifically. But he had some really great points, and that's kind of why I wanted to pull it up. But are you guys talking about the Seymour asses? Yeah, in case you guys didn't know, I'm a huge fan of Futurama. I've been a fan of Futurama since high school. It's been one of my favorite shows of all time, especially animes, right? Cartoons, things like that. And because of that, I've seen every episode dozens and dozens of times. And Roaring Kitty posted this 1 minute long video of Seymour asses waiting for Fry to come out of Panucci's pizza when Fry, the main character, was locked in a cryogenic, lived a long life after Fry had gotten cryogenically frozen. But the thing is, of course, Fry, because he left when the dog was 3, and the dog lived like another 13 or 14 years after that, he didn't know that the dog waited for him for the rest of his life. The thing here that I believe that is most important is not that the dog waited until the day he died. I think it's that the dog's name, and the only person in this entire video, aside from the owner of Panucci's, who's a side character, was Seymour asses. And if you take Seymour asses and you think about it, what does it mean? It means Seymour ass. There you go. His name is Seymour asses. Moasses. Moasses. More than one. You can see there are more than one. And that is what I truly believe to be the case. Let that sink in. I love it. So that's what I truly believe it means. I mean, you can believe it means whatever you want it to, right? But that's what I think it's all about. I think it's directly related to the name of the dog, because that's the most important character in that entire thing, in that entire 1 minute video. Trader RW, any updates on Lit Exchange? If AMC and Gamestop do some things, I'd really like to chuck in a few thousand. Cheers, my friends. Thank you for asking, Trader. We've been working really hard with the engineering team to get everything hashed out with the development of the software, with the website, the phone applications, for Android and Apple. Click that. So it's really been kind of a fun ride, let's put it that way. It's been a lot of work. We've been doing a lot of work in the engineering and the development of the software and getting everything set up with the artificial intelligence, getting the beta ready, making strategic partnerships with various clearinghouses, companies, the NASDAQ. NASDAQ actually told me I could write for NASDAQ.com and that they would be able to display our logo and Lit Exchange's company information on their building at Times Square. And I don't know if you guys know what it looks like, but their building at Times Square is fucking awesome. It's a huge digital display board on the outside of Times Square. And just like Coinbase has it displayed here, NASDAQ told us that they are willing to display the Lit Exchange logo and information outside the NASDAQ building, just like this. I think you guys remember that I was in New York for Thanksgiving 2 years ago. And this is where I went. I went for two reasons. One, to be a part of the parade that retail investors raised money to have 3 digital billboards at the Macy's Day Parade outside, not in the middle of the parade, but right at the perimeter of the parade. And we drove it around. I was with the drivers and the owner of that company, and we drove it around, got some awesome shots. I did a live stream with it, with the digital billboard trucks. And while I was there, the other thing I did was go say hello to people at the NASDAQ. So that was quite interesting to say the least. But no, we recently had a discussion with them. I had a video meeting by Zoom with, I'm not going to say his name, with one of the people that work there. And yeah, he did tell me that I could write articles for NASDAQ.com and that they would put the Lit Exchange logos on the building and on the front of the facade like this, the same way that Coinbase is. And that is extremely exciting it should be exciting for all retail investors and founding members of Lit Exchange, especially knowing that we're going to be routing your orders directly to Lit Markets. We're going to be routing your orders directly to these fucking guys here at the NASDAQ building, things like that. So really happy and really excited about that. And the other updates, I don't want to give too much information. There's a lot of details that I can't give for obvious reasons, but things are going very, very well. Very excited, hoping to launch here at the end of this year or at the latest at the Q1 of 2026. Let's see. Jaina. Oh, damn, what happened to my chat? There you go. Jaina, my friend, where'd you go? I saw you. I saw your chat. I'm not going to pass you up. Here we are. Yeah, Hilsey, you are the best, says Jaina. Or you are busy. You are the best. I feel our MOAS will come this year, 2025. We love the apes and the butcher. Hey, thank you. Love you too, Jaina. You're awesome. Trump didn't say anything yet about Naked Short, DJT, and other stocks, says Nick. You are correct. Trump has not yet said that. You can see he's been busy signing executive orders like it's going out of style, trying to fix this country. Why do you think they made the meme coins, says Nyog the Eldritch Gentleman. I was so caught off guard, I thought Trump's account was hacked. I think because Trump and company are coming out with a new cryptocurrency exchange or a cryptocurrency. Yeah, an exchange is the right word for it. I believe that that's probably why they did it, in order to have their own exclusive. Well, it's not an exclusive listing, but they can make money off of it, man. People can make money off of it. You know, I bought a few of the Trump coins. What do I got to lose? You know, a few bucks. It wasn't a big investment. If it goes down, it goes down. If it goes up, great. Whatever. It's just one of those things. Steve, please investigate this at once.
The SEC go after any of the hedge funds who were nonstop shorting and distorting Tesla. Not once. They would lie flat. The hedge funds would lie flat out on TV for their own gain at the expense of retail investors. Not once, literally 1,000 times. Not once did the SEC pursue them.
How do you explain this failure?
The incentive structure is messed up because the lawyers at the SEC are not paid well. It's a fairly low-paying job, but what they're looking for is a trophy from the SEC. They're looking for something they put on basically their LinkedIn.
Yeah.
From that, they can get a job at a high-paying law firm. That's exactly what the lawyer here did. And the reason they don't attack the hedge funds is because those hedge funds employ those law firms. And they know if they attack the hedge funds, they're affecting their future career prospects. So they sell small investors down the river for their own career. That's what actually happens. Regulatory capture.
Regulatory
prospects.
This has been going on for a long time with many companies, ladies and gentlemen. Tesla has had its squeeze and continued to squeeze and is doing really well right now. And pretty soon, that's coming for GameStop. That's coming for AMC. That's coming for a lot of these companies that are fundamentally massively undervalued and heavily shorted. They can only remain heavily shorted artificially for a period of time. Now, that may be a few years. It has been a few years. The Tesla squeeze, Tesla was heavily shorted for several years, and it took multiple years for it to squeeze. And it squoze for several years. I have a feeling AMC and GameStop are much more heavily shorted, and their fundamentals are greatly improving. A feeling that they will squeeze a lot more violently. Creamy says, I want to thank you for going live tonight. You saved me from my boredom. I was going to watch porn so I could get my stock to go up. Cheers, my friend. Well, I'm no substitute for that. But I don't mind hanging out with you, my friend. As long as you're not watching any of that shit right now. Lack Attack says, Pantheon, the GOAT. That's right. And Alex, yes, Roaring Kitty was back. He put that tweet up about Futurama's dog, Futurama, Fry's dog named Simo-Ass. Sobs, thank you, my friend. You're very kind. Vincent asks, when will Citadel fall? Man, I hate Mayo Boy. Jared Lightring says, does anyone know where I could purchase the Trump crypto? Yeah, you can buy it pretty much anywhere now. You can buy it on Moonshot. You can buy it on Coinbase. They're in pretty much anywhere you can buy the new Trump crypto now, just so you know. How long do you think Hycroft Mining Corporation is going to drag their feet drilling holes instead of starting to mine? Or do you think their plan is to sell before they mine? No, Cutterwise, I think they're doing a really good job. You see, in business, with Hycroft Mining Corporation, for example, they have to do studies. They have to drill and figure out where the silver and gold is so they know where to dig and how to extract it. Because it's not as simple as just digging down and get it. There's a lot of silver and gold that can only be reached through other methods of extraction, such as leach fields. And these leach fields allow like a chemical reaction to help kind of bring it to the surface. There was a really cool movie that I watched. Can I remember what it was called? I think it was called The Sister Brothers. Yeah, it was The Sister Brothers. It was on Netflix. And I didn't know it at the time, but in the movie, when I was watching it, I didn't know that this happened in the movie. But once I was watching it, I realized that they came up with something in which they added some acid to the water in a river. And that literally made the gold rise to the top of the river and illuminate, right? Like bright, like kind of neon, when they shook it up with some shovels and lifted up the dirt from the soil and the rocks from the bottom of the river. And that's very similar to like these leach pool fields. And I won't ruin it for you, but let's put it this way. In the movie, The Sister Brothers, it goes wrong. And if you want to watch it, you can. I would give it, I'd give it a good 7 out of 10 as far as like an entertaining movie. And I do think that it's fun if you like, kind of westerns and stuff like that. But yeah, there's multiple different ways of extraction. You have to figure out where it is, how to get it out, what's the best way so you can get the maximum amount. And they have found by doing so, there's a lot more and higher quality silver and gold than was ever anticipated. So in reality, the studies that they're doing now are going to pay off massively in the long term. And I do think that their plan is for Highcroft Mining Corporation, their plan is to start digging this year, to start extracting gold and silver this year, from what I read in their most recent quarterly reports, from their earnings reports. What's up, Omar? Welcome to the stream, my friend. Black Widow, Hilsey, Stock Jockey. Oh yeah, Jaina reminds everybody, don't forget to slap the like, folks. Do it for the algorithm. Bullish Citizen says, your thoughts about Trey Schilling now. My thoughts about Trey Schilling now. Do you guys remember what I said to Trey a long, long time ago? Does anybody remember? Pepperidge Farm remembers. Let's see if I can find it. Let me go way back in my shorts. Many, many moons ago. To when I called out Trey's trades for his stupidity. My opinion of him, I don't have much of an opinion of him. Because the lion doesn't concern himself with the opinions of sheep. Trey is a sheep. And I don't care about his opinion or what he has to say about Adam Aaron, other than the fact that I think he's a fucking clown. But other than that, I don't really have an opinion of the guy. Let's see if I can find it. It's around here somewhere. It was in my living room, and I don't see it here, do I? I do not. Just kind of annoying. But somebody posted it. Well, it shows how little I care. I must have deleted it, or it must be gone for whatever reason. But I called Trey. I said, are you smoking crack? You really think that a short squeeze is going to be hindered by the market capitalization of a company? Are you so stupid that you don't know that Volkswagen, when it squoze in 2008, became the most valuable company in the world? Market capitalization has nothing to do with the value a stock can achieve during a short squeeze, or the fundamental value of AMC or Gamestop at the moment. Mark Anderson, the CEO of Andreessen Horowitz. Let me see. Oh, Hilsey, if you're only seeing that number of likes, that means you have to refresh the stream. YouTube doesn't update the number of likes properly, but hey, have a great night, Hilsey. I know it's getting late. Yud, 1979, will Lit Exchange connect to TradingView? Congrats. That's awesome, says Jaina. Thank you very much. Yeah, we're looking forward to being on the NASDAQ building in the future. Lit Exchange is going to look real good up there. I might have to go back to New York for that. Just for that. Live stream in front of Lit Exchange on the NASDAQ building. I love that Trump fired these pricks He fired at least 12 independent inspectors generals. I'm hearing now that it was 18 inspector generals in the independent watchdogs at major cabinet departments were charged with identifying fraud and abuse. It is a purge that could lead to the president installing loyalists to the crucial roles overseeing major agencies like energy and transport. Most of those dismissed were Trump appointees from his first term. The man is cleaning fucking house. He is cleaning house, draining the fucking swamp of the people that bullshitted and pretended to be helpful for the purposes of pushing forward the deep state agenda. There you go. Trying to get her in the screen here. There you go. It's good enough. Kristen posts, we're supposed to believe Bloomberg is so surprised by all the dark pool trading, especially the OTC trades sent there. This article is disingenuous at best. They said, for the first time on record, the majority of all trading in U.S. stocks is now consistently occurring outside the country's exchanges, according to data compiled by Bloomberg. This off-exchange activity, which happens internally at major firms or on alternative platforms known as Darkpools, is on course to account for a record 51.8% of traded volume in January. That's of all stocks in the stock market. Barring an unexpected dip, it will be the 5th monthly record in a row and the 3rd month running that hidden trades make up more than half of all volume. For now, the threat to market efficiency remains a distant concern, with 48.2% of trades in January still happening on exchange. Now, many of you guys that are invested in heavily shorted equities, FFIE, MMAT, BBY, Gamestop, AMC, the list goes on, right? Sundial, Tilray, whatever, SLV. You're well aware that the majority of trades for heavily shorted equities takes place on dark pools, off exchange. And we're talking 60, 70, even 80% plus on any given day. So this is nothing new to us. But a lot of people out there, they don't know that this is a problem. And people are finally starting to learn. As the more they learn about markets, the more they learn about market manipulation, and people like FTX, Sam Bankman-Fried, and all of the other banks and exchanges, crypto exchanges, all the way back through the Ponzi's of Enron and Bernie Madoff, they're starting to realize, hey, dark pools are not a good thing. I'm getting front run. I'm getting manipulated. I'm losing money due to this. All because I want to have a commission-free brokerage that's not really free at all. I'm still paying commissions. I just don't know how much I'm paying. And then the orders are internalized. You're getting artificial synthetic shares in your account, ones and zeros with no real share there. Then these guys are failing to deliver on giving you the fucking shares. And people are okay with that? It's ignorance. It's ignorance, to be honest with you. That's the only reason people are okay with it, because they don't fucking know better. And that's really sad. To get ripped off, to be given fake shares, that's unacceptable. But that's exactly what's going on. And a lot of people are finally starting to fucking learn that it's a problem. And hence, lit exchange, right? Whoops, let me go back forward. Country Pride. Already posted. Let's see. Kershaw says, I remember the live streams with the billboards when I was 2 years ago when I was at New York. Yep. That was fun. That was a fun trip. I was in and out real quick to New York. I didn't want to spend any more time than I had to in that fucking shithole. Frank Armini, I'll get to you in just 1 second, bro. I want to make sure I don't forget anybody. Oh, yeah, you're next. Frank says, hey, boss, I wanted to know how our investment into Lit Exchange translates into the numbers of shares we're allowed pre-IPO. For example, if I invest 10,000 into Lit Exchange, how many shares would I get? Well, here's the cool thing, Frank, is that you will get a percentage of shares relative to your investment, right? And that will be based on how many shares we issue at IPO. Whatever amount of shares you get will be the correct amount that you should get based on the percentage of ownership in the company compared to how many shares we issue. So for example, I'm just going to throw out a number. These are not real specifics. I'm just giving you an example. If Lit Exchange issues 100 million shares when we IPO, then you might get 5,000 shares, for example, for each $500 investment, right? Because with private equity, you're not getting the shares right now, you're getting units. And so for every $500, you get 1 unit. So if it's you invest $1,000, you get 2 units. If you invest $2,000, you get 4 units. I'm sure you understand what I'm saying. And going on, you can invest as much money as you want according to what the SEC allows you to invest based on your salary and income, because you have to input those information. So if you're going to get 5,000 for $500, if you invest 1,000, then you would get $10,000. I'm sorry. If you invest $1,000, you would get 10,000 shares. If you invest $1,500, you would get 15,000 shares, and so on. So that would be different than, for example, if we issued 500 million shares instead of 100 million when Lit Exchange IPOs. If that's the case, instead of getting 5,000 shares for every unit, you would be getting 5 times that amount, 25,000 shares for every unit. Regardless, the percentage that you're receiving is still the same. The number of shares you're receiving is directly correlated to the percentage of ownership that you have in the company. So for every unit, you will receive obviously many shares, and it will just be based on how many shares the company issues upon the IPO. So I hope that explains your question, my friend. Cheers to all the new investors. I can see that the number has gone up now. We are over $565,000 invested and raised by retail investors such as yourself in this endeavor for Lit Exchange. Very nice. Welcome to Lit Exchange, my friends. It is my pleasure to be your partner in this. So, Kershaw, it has in fact been a fun ride. Trader, that's class. Yep. Seymour was born in the 90s but died in 2012. Yes, you're talking about Seymour asses from Futurama. Lack Attack, that is a lot of eyes on the company for sure, brother. Chaina, I know you're still here. You're too awesome. Jaspreet asks, AMC is out of shares to dilute. What is the game plan now? AMC doesn't need to sell any more shares, my friend. They don't need to issue any more shares. They've got over $500 million in cash. They've paid off billions of dollars in debt, rolled out their bills and debts through 2030. The company has had multiple profitable quarters recently, and the only reason it hasn't been profitable in the last 2 quarters is because they spent their profits upgrading the theaters. That is a good investment of money, because now they're good for another 10, 15 years before those theaters have to be upgraded again. They took away Karen Bash's microphone after she smarted off to Trump. Needless to say, Trump absolutely destroyed her. Oh, this is a good exchange. I love it. He basically told her, use your emergency powers to help the people in North Carolina and LA. Sorry, LA. Do your fucking job, Karen Bash. Chaina, you're too cool. Bullish asks, when Adam Aaron coin? I don't think that's going to happen. Sandman sold my Highcroft and put it into AMC, he says. All right, I respect that. Kale says, my only question is, when do we get started? If you're talking about Lit Exchange, we're shooting for late 2025 or Q1 of 2026 at the latest. That is, of course, subject to change, but the sooner the better. If we could launch tomorrow, we would. However, there's a few things called FINRA regulations. We're not about to do what some of these other crypto assholes are doing and launching an exchange in and they launch an unregulated exchange and then they get shut down by the SEC in a year or two. No, sir. We do things properly around here. We make sure everything's on the up and up with FINRA and the Securities Exchange Commission because we're not criminals like these fuckers are. We're here to do things right and to make sure that retail is properly represented on lit markets. Hey, C5TR8. Welcome back, my friend. AMC Hawkeye, is there a roadmap available for interested investors for lit exchange? There's definitely a ton of information from audited financials to private placement memorandums, offering memorandums on the funding portal for lit exchange, which is Silicon Prairie. Silicon Prairie's funding portal, they're a FINRA regulated funding portal and broker dealer, and they are the ones that are handling the regulation crowdfunding details for lit exchange. So if you go there, it's linked down in the description. This page right here, you'll get a good idea of everything going on with the pitch deck, the business plan, and so on. It's not labeled as roadmap, like it is, some people might be expecting, but all the details are there in the business plan and the pitch deck. It's a 83-page long, business plan and pitch deck. So there's definitely a lot of information there to take in, and you can get everything related to the market trends, the regulatory environment, the market plans. They're in there, my friend. It's just not laid out like a calendar, like the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, because it's a business plan. And I hope that doesn't sound like I'm being diminutive in any way. That's not my intention. I'm just explaining that in the business plan, it has to be laid out in a fashion where everything is categorized in a certain layout, So that's the reason that you can see everything very clearly there, one after the next. Kershaw says, how much investment in the lit exchange do you need in total? I can't wait till you open up in Europe. Well, thankfully, we've already reached our minimum goal, our minimum goal, and we're going on to our stretch goal. From our minimum was 500K. We're going on to our stretch goal of 1 million, and then we'll go on to our stretch goal of 2 million, 3 million, 4 million, and 5 million tops. We do not need 5 million to launch. Let's put it that way. 500K was our minimum goal, and we are well on our way towards launch. Honestly, the fewer people that invest, the less percentage of the company we have to give to the retail investors. But the whole point, so it doesn't really matter if more people don't want to invest. Fine, no problem. They don't get to be a part of the company's launch. They don't get to get any of the perks and benefits, and they don't get to have shares at this current price because they will never be this current price. You'll never be able to buy a unit of lit exchange for $500 again and get thousands or tens of thousands of shares for $500 when it IPOs at whatever price, $10 a share, $20 a share. I don't know what it's going to be. I'm just giving you an example. When it IPOs, those people are going to be like, wow, fuck, for $500, I can only buy a handful of shares. Whereas now they could potentially get tens of thousands. So it's kind of more of a, you're lucky if you're in, you're not so lucky if you're not kind of situation, in my opinion, compared to the prices it will be at when we IPO. So it's less about, cheers, Kershaw says, I'm going to be the first customer. We'll love it. We'll love it. It's less about, the crowdfunding campaign and more about achieving the final regulatory steps, which we're going through right now in order to be able to launch. So it's just kind of it's a game of lawyers and FINRA and all that other nonsense that they have to make sure all our ducks are in a row. And then we will get our approval as a fully regulated broker dealer, and we'll be able to launch, etc. It's just stuff that takes time, right? Launching a broker dealer takes a significant period of time because it's not just a software company. It's not just a website. It's not just an app. There are nothing but hoops and regulations and red tape to jump through. And that, of course, makes everything take time. But thankfully, we've been doing this for 39 months now. Yep, over 3 years, and we're well on our way to being able to launch pretty soon. I can't stand this fucking Senk Uyghur guy. But RFK plans to remove the immunity protections of vaccine manufacturers and hold them accountable for harmful vaccines. Oh, that makes me happy. I'm very happy to see. Yes, Lack Attack, you're absolutely right. Lack Attack says Trump's Security Exchange Commission is going to be a good thing for Lit Exchange. Yes, absolutely right. Very excited for Paul Atkins and the Securities Exchange Commission and the changes that they're making in financial markets. So yeah, definitely think it's going to be great for Lit Exchange in terms of stocks and crypto and the retail investors. Because the more that these guys make positive change to help retail be able to invest more freely, and the more that they put their fists down against naked shorting, which we saw them doing, Paul Atkins doing when he was in the SEC previously, the better it's going to be for retail. You need them to stamp out naked shorting and market manipulation. But here's the thing is, I'm not counting on them. If they don't do it, if they just make it easier for retail to own crypto and stocks, that's good enough. We can make the change our fucking selves by taking the orders out of the dark pools and routing them in lit markets, by giving people a leg up, by taking away that ability for manipulation from the high frequency traders, from the wholesalers like Citadel and Virtue, so that it can't continue to happen. Frank says, if MOAS doesn't happen this year, I would love to see what happens when everyone starts transferring their shares to Lit Exchange. That's the thing is, Frank, is we're not waiting for any short squeeze to launch Lit Exchange. We're going to launch Lit Exchange regardless of the timeline on any stocks or cryptos, whether it be AMC, Gamestop, silver, gold, whatever. We're going to launch Lit Exchange. And in my opinion, we'll probably launch before any MOAS occurs. And then retail investors will see what we offer. They'll learn about the company. We'll be advertising it and marketing it heavily, which so far we have spent $0 on marketing. Everything you're seeing here is organic. And if you're seeing this video now, you are one of the few people in the world that even knows that this company is coming. Once it starts being played on TV, radio, advertisements all over, YouTube, etc., YouTube advertisements, and other influencers, there's going to be a lot of people flooding to Lit Exchange. And when they start transferring in their shares of heavily shorted equities, we at Lit Exchange are going to publicly disclose the number of shares of heavily shorted equities that are held within our brokerage. Not your shares or my shares, but the collective number of shares of AMC stock, Tesla stock, GameStop stock. You get the idea, that are held within Lit Exchange. And that will obviously provide a level of transparency, because that's what the company's all about. Giving retail traders as much information as possible to make an informed decision and have transparency to see what is really happening with their favorite investments. So I think that's going to be really exciting. People are going to start seeing hundreds of thousands and then millions and millions of shares of AMC and GameStop and these other companies, DJT, FFIE, flood into Lit Exchange. And we're going to be publicly disclosing how many shares are held within our brokerage of those companies. And retail investors will be able to look at that and be like, holy shit, 25% of all GameStop shares are in Lit Exchange. How can that be if there's hundreds of other brokerages and a bunch of shares DRS'd? How can that possibly be? And then people will be able to be like, oh, wait, let me extrapolate the data. There's 25% of the GameStop shares in Lit Exchange. How many are held in every other brokerage? Webull, Robinhood, IBKR, Fidelity, Charles Schwab, Public, Moomoo, blah, blah, blah. Chinese bullshit brokerages. You get the idea. Dark pool manipulating assholes. buy button removing pieces of shit. How many shares of stock could possibly be in all these brokerages if the data is being extrapolated from what we give you to Lit Exchange? It's giving people another level of transparency that we don't currently have. That's why this company's for retail by retail. Lag Attack says, absolutely, boss. Cheers, my friend. I hope you're all having a wonderful Friday evening and Saturday morning. I know I am. Let's see, I'm going to check out Twitter for a minute here, and let's see what's happening on Twitter land. Danish officials are utterly freaked out in crisis mode after Trump had told them that he intends to acquire Greenland during a 45-minute call. Trump was firm in his pursuit to acquire Greenland during a call with Denmark's prime minister, according to the Financial Times. 5 European officials who were briefed about the call were in shock to find that Trump is serious about acquiring Greenland. Holy shit. How cool would it be to have an American territory in fucking Europe? In Europe. That would be sick. That would be sick. The officials hoped he was joking or his statements were just a negotiating tactic. The officials, Trump was very firm. It was a cold shower. Before, it was hard to take it seriously, but I do think it's serious and potentially very dangerous, one official said. The intent was very clear. They want it. The Danes are now in crisis mode. The Danes are utterly freaked out by this. He threatened specific measures against Denmark, such as targeted tariffs. I gotta hear this. Let's go, Donald.
Greenland is a wonderful place. We need it for international security. And I'm sure that Denmark will come along. I think it's costing them a lot of money to maintain it, to keep it. The people of Greenland are not happy with Denmark, as you know. I think they're happy with us. We had representatives, my son and representatives went up there 2 weeks ago, and they like us. So we'll see what happens. But Greenland is necessary, not for us, it's necessary for international security.
Damn. I like that.
You have Russian boats all over the place. You have China boats all over the place, warships. And they can't maintain it. Greenland.
The man's not wrong. We now have the Gulf of America because it's patrolled, kept safe, and financially supported fully by the United States. It's only right that we call it the Gulf of America instead of the Gulf of Mexico. And for those of you that don't know, I am part Mexican as well. So for me to say that as a Mexican American, also part European, born in America, from two citizen but immigrant citizen, U.S. citizen parents, that kind of should explain a lot. And I most definitely support it. Even the same with Panama Canal. The Panama Canal needs to be under American control. We pay for all of it. We paid to have it built. Hundreds of billions of dollars.
China's new gateway to the Americas? And that in Mexico? Wait, what? The mind-blowing story nobody's talking about. China's been quietly investing in Mexico's port of Manzanillo, creating what could become the new Silk Road of the Americas. And 99% of people have no idea this is happening. Here's where it gets wild. While everyone's caught up, China's making a bold move to bypass U.S.-controlled trade routes to the Americas. Ready for this? This new route could cut shipping times by up to 5 days compared to the Panama Canal. What? 5 whole days? Game over, Panama Canal. But wait, there's more. This megaport is Mexico's express lane to Asian markets. We're talking billions in investment, connecting them directly to the world's biggest economies. The plot twist? Mexico's about to unlock a golden opportunity, while the USA's watching their bestie team up with their biggest rival. And hidden in plain view, this massive shift is already reshaping the future. What do you think about this game-changing development? Comments below.
See, we were just talking about the Panama Canal. We pay for it. We paid for it. It should be the American canal, just like the Gulf of America. Hey, Crypto Femme, have a beautiful night. I know it's getting late. Enjoy your night. You're so excited about Lit, and so am I. So are we. Black Widow, millions of people will be moving into Lit Exchange. Retail is huge and fed up. That's absolutely right, my friend. Oh, yeah, Trump is sending the Army Corps back to North Carolina, which is really awesome. The Biden administration could have done something about this if they wanted to, but they didn't want to. They had no interest in helping the people. They wanted the deep state globalists to buy up all this land, the corporations to buy up this land. That's why the insurance companies didn't pay these people, told them it would take 2 years to get your money for your home that's destroyed, and offer them a fraction of its actual value. And then FEMA went ahead and offered them pennies on the dollar for the land. It was a land grab. Whether it happened on purpose or on accident is not the point. The point is the way the Biden administration responded to it was very clear that the deep state globalist agenda was out to buy this land. President Trump officially suspends military aid to Ukraine. Thank God. Finally. Finally. Speaking of that, I have a YouTube short I put up earlier, 15 seconds long. I want to show you guys. I mean, you could watch it on the channel, right? But since we're here, here's Vladimir Putin talking about 2020.
If he had been the president, if the victory wasn't stolen from him in 2020, maybe the Ukrainian crisis that arose in 2022 would have never appeared.
Even Vladimir Putin thinks that we would have not have had the war in Ukraine if Donald Trump had been elected in 2020. And he's absolutely right, because Donald Trump could have shut down the 42 biolaboratories, weaponized biolaboratories that are sponsored by the United States, by the CIA.
This guy went around giving everybody pardons. And you know, the funny thing, maybe the sad thing, is he didn't give himself a pardon. And if you look at it, it all had to do with him. This guy went around giving everybody pardons. And you know, the funny thing, maybe the sad thing, is he didn't give himself a pardon. And if you look at it, it all had to do with him.
Sure did. It sure did. I'm seeing Robert, I'm sorry if I didn't respond to your message, but I'm not seeing it over here in the official chat. I'm only seeing it on my screen here. It says, hey, Marcel, what happened with Wu-Tang album release for GameStop investors? Wasn't it supposed to happen already? No news about it lately. Well, per my understanding, it was just the giving GameStop investors the ability to listen to the album and nothing more. So, in my opinion, it was a big flop and a missed opportunity by Ryan Cohen and the board of directors of GameStop to not actually issue some sort of NFT based on the number of stocks available using the Wu-Tang album on the blockchain, via the blockchain. So that was a huge missed opportunity, in my opinion, by Ryan Cohen and company. There are many, many things out there that can be done to track the number of shares out there and to fuck shorts. The thing is, most companies and most CEOs don't know about them, even very beloved CEOs. So when I get asked the question of if I'm concerned about shorts, naked shorting or shorting Lit Exchange when we IPO, I tell them I'm not worried about it. I'm not worried about it because we have our teams of securities experts and market experts have discussed this in great depth with a variety of different strategies and plans that we could implement to make sure that shorts get crushed. You guys know about Overstock issuing their NFT tied to each share? It squeezed the fuck out of the shorts. And if we wanted to do something similar and then come up with multiple different creative solutions to track the number of shares, it could be done. But, you know, most CEOs, they're either not willing or they just don't know how to do that. Because it is complicated. It is difficult. And it's not the norm. Third Cab wants to see an AMC and Gamestop merger happen. That would be cool with me. I don't think it's going to happen, but that'd be fine. That would be fine. No problem. C5TR8. Is that like, is it just letters or is it supposed to spell something? Does it say like, is it like C trait or C5 trait? Am I missing it, or is it, am I like way off here, bud? Or is it just C5TR8? Is that your name on YouTube? Let's go, Brandon. Let's go, Brandon. Straight into the fucking trash. I almost feel bad for the guy until I remember everything he's done to destroy this country. And he's a fucking pedophile. Not you. You know, Joseph Robinette Biden here. Hawk On says, good morning from Germany. Cheers, my friend. Good morning to you. It's great to see you. It's actually, my name's shortened. It's C straight. Oh my God, of course it is. That's, the 5 is supposed to be an S, and the C is just a letter C. Okay, C straight. Very nice, my friend. Thank you for letting me know, because that was bugging me. I was wondering what the fuck it was kind of supposed to mean. Declassified CIA document reveals that in the 1960s, the U.S. military planned Operation Northwoods, which involved committing acts of terrorism against American citizens to justify a war with Cuba. Oh, 9/11. 9/11 was planned in the 60s. I get it. Okay. Well, I'm not surprised. They probably just didn't have the balls to do it back then because they realized that it was wrong. But, you know, deep state globalists didn't give a shit in 9/11. That's likely why Epstein had paintings of George Bush playing with airplanes and Jenga towers in his home. But of course, the plan, oh, okay, this makes sense. The plan was rejected by President John F. Kennedy. No wonder they killed him, amongst many other reasons, threatening to dismantle the CIA, preventing Americans from being killed in secret classified documents. It's a damn shame. Thank the Lord. Thank the Lord for helping that guy turn his head at the last moment. Beast Mode, thank you very much, my friend. Appreciate you. Now, here says, I see your comments again up here. Oh, you must be, sorry, you must be on the multi-stream. Maybe you must be on like Twitter or Rumble. But I see your messages. I see your messages here, brother. It says, I think there was some great pressure from the FBI. Maybe those few lawsuits against Ryan Cohen was a warning sign. Turning around the company and profitability is a non-aggressive way to fuck them. Yeah, maybe. Maybe, my friend. That's definitely a possibility. It kind of feels like, you know, when GameStop issued the reverse split, and the DTC mishandled it. I think that was another missed opportunity as well. I think there should have been a lot more vocal about that, and even issued another reverse split on top of that, and made it, kind of made sure that there was a way to track every share via the reverse split by issuing a dividend or an NFT dividend of some sort to the owners of the stock upon the reverse split. But they didn't do that. So that in my opinion, was another missed opportunity. C Straight says, George Bush amongst that painting of Slick Willie in the blue dress. That's right. Amongst Bill Clinton in the blue dress. Yeah, absolutely. And we all know about the blue dress and his intern and the famous cigar story. Kershaw says, I actually bought a book yesterday from a Dutch professor engineer, Erwinian, that states that the collapse of the buildings, excluding Tower 7, cannot be explained by the planes. And it's absolutely correct. Yes. There has been documentaries, books, firsthand accounts, people that were there, people that were in the building, that saw the explosions, that heard the explosions, that felt the basement rumbling under their feet with explosions before the case. It was a big problem, and no airplanes and no jet fuel could melt those steel beams without the assistance of accelerants. Very, very powerful accelerants. And it looks like Arizona Governor Katie Hobbs is probably going to jail if she doesn't allow Tom Homan to conduct mass deportations in Arizona, as she claims that Tom Homan will not be allowed to do so. So I will be more than happy to see this criminal as well, Katie Hobbs, go to jail. I don't know about you guys. Joshua. Okay, I'm going to take a couple more questions here, and then I think we should call it a night. But Joshua, you bring up a great one. What happens when you open up Lit Exchange and we all move our AMC and GameStop shares to Lit Exchange? Well, my friends, I bet your brokerages are going to be scrambling to get back all those shares of yours that they've lent out and rehypothecated. And I bet you they're going to be buying up shares to transfer, because they have to transfer the shares from their brokerage to Lit Exchange, potentially causing buying pressure. Potentially. And then at Lit Exchange, we will be publicly disclosing the number of shares of heavily shorted equities held at our company each week. That's the plan. So retail investors will have transparency in a way that they don't have now. And you will be able to see exactly how many shares of each company, of each of those companies, are held in Lit Exchange. So you can extrapolate the data and figure out how many are held in the other brokerages. Yeah, Kershaw, you're absolutely right. There's also the piece of BBC News where the reporter is standing in front of World Trade Center Tower 7 saying that it collapsed, and it's behind her. There's no airplane that's hit it. There's no fire on it. You're saying it's gone, and it's clearly standing right there, right behind her. And that was scrubbed from the internet by a lot of firms, and that has been, of course, brought back to the internet many, many times by people, and is very, very obvious to people with their eyes open. Yeah, Volkswagen times 100. Frank, I think you're absolutely right. AMC and GameStop would be Volkswagen times 100. They would have been on January 28th, 2021, had these criminals not pulled the buy button. And then it would have happened again in June of 2021, as AMC was getting massively squeezed and reached its all-time high of $72 a share at the end of the day. And in my opinion, it's not even close to being over. Both of those stocks are likely to see recurrences and new all-time highs in the future. All right, my friends, I'm going to call it a night. Get a few hours of sleep, get up in the morning, go out with the family, take the kids to the library. Good night, Jaina. Good night, everybody. I wish you peace and wealth. See you guys tomorrow if there's any news. Otherwise, I'll definitely be back on Monday. Have a good evening, my friends.